Welcome to Just Koryzma, episode 25. I'm your host, Braden Koryzma, and joining me today is my brother, Christian Brzoza.
I'm not actually his brother,
but you know, close enough.
It might as well be.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good, you know.
Awesome.
Taking her day by day.
Yeah.
So Christian, this man went to school. He did 4 years of university for law. He's now...
Well, I did my bachelor's.
Bachelor's of law.
No.
No?
Philosophy.
Philosophy, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was close.
3 years, actually. And then I'm taking a break.
Okay.
And then going to do another year at a different school now.
Okay.
Back at VIU, where I started.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So is that going to start this coming fall?
I'm thinking spring. This spring.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
So pretty soon.
Nice. That's good. Are you excited?
Yeah. I'm going to start slow, I think, a couple classes. Just because that was sort of the one of the reasons that I took a break is just it was too much, getting a little overwhelmed with school.
For sure. I mean,
especially around the rest of things in my life. So wanted to take a bit of a break, gain some money again.
For sure, right?
School's so expensive.
So hard on the bank account, right? Yeah, no, that's 100% true.
And living in another city.
Yeah.
As well, like Victoria, which it was, just quite a bit more expensive for rent and general cost of living.
I mean, it's like a mini Vancouver.
Yeah, it's the second most expensive city in Canada.
Yeah.
Right after Vancouver.
And no thanks.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather not pay $800 for a one-bedroom place close to a university. No thanks.
Yeah, no bueno. So then why did you choose to major in philosophy and pursue law and all that stuff?
So the main reason that I wanted to study philosophy kind of started around, I think, grade 11 when I was in high school. I just had an English teacher who really motivated me as well, I think. But it was mostly because of these ethical discussions that we would have.
For sure.
Different books like Lord of the Flies sort of brings about a lot of those moral and ethical questions about good and evil.
For sure.
So that's where it started, and that's ethics being a branch of philosophy. It's probably one of my favorites. Just fascinating ethical dilemmas, when you're caught in a difficult situation where neither choice seems like a good option. How do you reason between what's the right thing to do in those circumstances? And just hearing out the arguments for and against a certain position. It always fascinated me, and I was just really drawn to that.
Okay.
So then, I wanted to study philosophy. Went to VIU for 2 years. Found out that some of the things that you can do with the philosophy degree are it's recommended for law. It's actually the recommended undergraduate for law school because it emphasizes on critical thinking and argumentation, but presenting a good argument, one with support.
Okay.
One that's not full of fallacies and errors in reasoning. One that's logical. So I thought that's something that I could do. So I was kind of running with that for a while. Got a little bit over my head, maybe. Maybe too much classes around my work schedule.
That's fair.
And just got a little bit overwhelmed and decided I wanted to take a break from that and sort of de-stress, recoup. I actually moved back here
which was great.
to Nanaimo, which was a big help. I think just being close to family and friends is always nice. Which I had friends in Victoria, but at a lesser extent, fewer of them. So more time to myself, which is good.
Yeah,
but,
you can I guess work on some self-development and all that stuff. And...
Yeah. But ultimately, felt right to move back. So I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, I'm happy you're back too, because I don't think I really ever saw you too much while you were gone.
No, well, I would try to come into town, but then it was meet with my parents.
Well, that's just it, right? Then you gotta make the appearances and family first, right? Mm-hmm. So I totally get it. And plus, you had very different schedules. Yeah. Because at the time I think I was still working weekends, so it always sucked. Yep. But whatever. So then, you're gonna go back in the spring. So what's your plans? Because don't you if you have to go to law school after that? Is that
so? Well, my plan right now is like I'm just going to finish my degree, and then figure out from there what it is that I want to do, because that was one of the things I was a little bit stressed out about.
Okay.
Just for lack of a better word.
Right.
Was that I would, have this full round of schooling after already going through 4, and it's a lot of time and a lot of effort to focus on that. So that was a bit of a stress, like, do I want to do 3 years of this? I'm not even sure if this is the career that I really want.
Okay.
It's a lot of time and money to invest in something that you're not sure of, right?
100%, right?
So I wanted to take a break to really figure out if that is what I want to do, if not, what. And, still sort of figuring that part out, but I know as much that I want to finish my degree.
That's good, though. At least then you'll have it, right?
Yeah.
And, like, 1 more year is...
and I've already gone 3 years through, so it'd be stupid to, like...
Yeah, to not
stop
finish
now,
Yeah. I mean, it's like... It's just like getting to that finish line, or like the last little mile of a race, right?
Mm-hmm. And then be like, I'm done. Although that does happen. Think about like people running a marathon and their legs just give out. They can't go on no matter how much.
The tortoise always wins, Just crawl.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race.
So that's kind of what I want to do. Like take a couple courses, just take it slowly.
Yeah.
Don't get too rushed into it.
For sure.
And that way I can also work around, which I enjoy. I enjoy like work as a process. Compared to school in many ways, like there's a lot of differences in that aspect. One's a lot more like mental for sure, and work generally will have an aspect of that where you need to be like alert or analytical to some capacity. But yeah, I like more of the pace that work gives you compared to school. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, at least work. You can turn it off.
Exactly. You go home.
Yeah,
you go home,
you can turn it off.
It's over until it doesn't follow you home. Which is the thing about school that kind of got to me was...
Yeah, because
it's not just this many hours of school. It's all the schoolwork behind it.
You get a study. You have, I've heard of people writing, 20-page papers and, all these...
Yeah. Crazy. And in philosophy, that's, standard.
Yeah, that sounds, too much
A lot of reading, a lot of writing.
I would just send them
good.
I would send them many photos, because then they'd be like, why are these photos? I'd be like,
worth 1,000 words. Here's my photo album from when I was born.
Here's.
What does this have to do with foundationalism?
You just gotta go to the teacher.
Sorry, professor.
You gotta go up to your professor and be like, hey, I broke the light switch. Why? Because no one shines brighter than me. And I just draw some shades.
D-. It was worth a shot.
But that's, I definitely see where you're coming from. Before I got accepted into my electrical foundations program, my parents and I were thinking, does anything else interest you? Have you thought about, I'm like, maybe some business or something, but it's not it wasn't enough of a let's go to have me spend the money and waste my time.
Right.
And plus, it's that's stuff you can just kind of learn on the fly.
Yeah, well, you can definitely self-teach, learn on your own. A lot of those things, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Just invest the time into it, right?
Exactly. You gotta
that's all it takes.
You gotta dedicate it.
Yeah.
Just
and you gotta know where your priorities are.
For sure.
Right? You don't want to jump into something when you really are going to be focusing on something else, and this demands too much of your attention.
Well, exactly. You don't want to overload your plate, right?
Right.
And then, and also if you're not 110% into it, don't even bother. Because then it's just not worth your time, and not. Because then you're gonna half-ass it, right? You can't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying the other day, if I try and do 2 things, I only do one of them. So
yeah, exactly. Multitasking? What is that? I don't need that.
It's not possible, right? You just alternate. Yeah, that's the only thing that your brain can do. You can't think about 2 things simultaneously.
Typing in mathematical equations.
Well, even if they are, right, they're doing them at 1, then this one, then this one. It's not unless you're of another intelligence entirely.
Another life form, another species.
It's genius.
Yeah.
Alien genius.
So that's cool, man. So then it seems like you're on the right path. You're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this is the right space, right place.
Right. Yeah.
For myself right now that I've kind of put myself into.
That's good, man. That's good.
It's good.
So then I guess we can carry on with the old school thing. We went to high school together, so that was always good.
Great times.
Great times. That's where I met you, and it was I don't.
Grade 11?
Grade 11, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and then I don't think... Did we ever have any classes together?
PE?
No.
Maybe? You sure?
Because I didn't have PE in grade 11.
Grade 12?
Yeah, but I was in the health and wellness with Danny.
Mm.
I feel like we did.
I feel like we had a class.
I don't remember, though.
Did you have physics with me?
Maybe. Was it with whips?
With whips. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh,
with
man.
Whips.
I remember that day. Remember that day we walked into class and we were like, what are we doing today, Whips? Oh, we're just, it's catch-up day. We're
Fantastic.
We're all done. Do you care if we just go to Costco and get some breakfast? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. You're good.
Right.
We went to Costco.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a great morning.
That was great. Yeah.
So it's like
good old Costco dog. So affordable.
So affordable. $1.50 with a drink.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Say no more.
Yeah, we had some good times. Prom was awesome.
Yep.
That
was great. The limo.
The limo was fantastic.
So I found out that our limo driver I actually work with now.
No.
Yeah, he works at the same. And I found out in the most weird way because one of our friends, he ended up puking in the limo.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the limo driver gave him a tie. And then he knew that story. I didn't even say it. He's like, did somebody get sick in your limo? And I was like, yeah. He was like, and did I give him a tie? He was like, did he, like, yeah. And I gave him a tie. I'm like, yeah, no, you totally the dude. And he, like, shook my hand. It was, like, so crazy to, I guess, small town a little bit. Yeah. Small city.
What are the odds, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
It was pretty awesome, though.
So he works with
cool
you now?
Moment. Yeah.
I'll have to come say hi.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean,
I won't.
I don't know if I'm ever in the store.
Yeah, it was also in that limo that you drove that one time.
When that guy threw up,
And then he ended up seeing him later, and he, like, our friend, Jack, thanked him for the tie, and I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know about that.
I didn't either. Yeah. Good for him. Mm-hmm. That's some good. I guess
it goes full circle.
It does. Right? What goes around, good positivity, good, paying it forward.
That's absolutely right.
All right, my man. This is the part of the show called the motivational moment.
All right.
So, can you describe me your passion in 5 words or less?
5 words or less. Yes. Yes, I can.
Perfect.
So I would say that my passion in life, or what makes me passionate about life, is really exploring and appreciating life. So trying to find different things, new places or new experiences or new people.
Yep.
Trying to find all that diversity that this world has. So physically exploring it, but also conceptually as well, trying to find new ideas, reading. I think that's very important. I wish I did more of it.
For sure, yeah.
And then also appreciating life, so finding those moments that make you happy or add some value to you, and really focus on those things rather than the mundanity that might surround your other experiences, right?
Okay. And recently, have you had some of those little experiences that have brought a little more value?
I would say so. I moved here and very quickly found a new job where I'm at, which I'm really liking, and things are going very well there.
Perfect.
And I'm really enjoying that experience, learning lots of new things,
nice.
And I hope that it'll be an opportunity for growth for myself. And furthermore, I got into a relationship here since moving back, and that's gone very well.
It's going very well. She's awesome.
My girlfriend Teo, she's wicked. Shout out to Teo.
She's good. Yeah, I only met her when she came out camping to see us, and actually, she's awesome.
Yeah, we have a great time. Yeah. That's what I love.
That's good, man. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you.
So those are probably the things that I'm most, the biggest moments in my life in the past. Another thing, recently, a new experience that I got to have was going hunting with my cousins in Saskatchewan, which I had never done before. And my cousin got his first moose. He's been trying for one for 10 years or something since he was really young. Because they have a pool system where you have to essentially be in like a low possibility of being chosen to hunt because it's conserved and it's regulated. and then like a greater and greater and greater possibility of being drawn and the ability to get a tag for them. So yeah, he had waited a long time, finally got drawn, and me and my brother both joined him. And that was a very different experience. It was actually kind of interesting because he got the moose in the first 15 minutes of us leaving the house.
No kidding.
Just happenstance. It was out, like, it's quite rural in that area, so you don't have to go too far to be in, like, canola fields and forest. Near, like, creeks and streams where they like to be. But yeah, he saw it in the field, and it was, like, quite actually a large size. And yeah.
Nice.
And took it out, and it was crazy. It was a lot faster than I thought it would be, for sure. Most hunts don't go that quickly, I know that for much. Sure. But it was interesting that was our first one. I kind of got like a small taste of it. And then, the rest of it, which was a lot more...
you mean like the gutting?
The gutting, yeah. And the gutting of it, which is a lot more intense than... Or visceral is maybe a better word for it. When you just like think of it conceptually hunting, you don't think so much about the gutting. But that's probably the biggest part of it, I would say. Or like at least the most memorable now. Okay. Like the smell.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was honestly, it was a cool experience. It gave me a lot of appreciation for hunters and what they do. That's cool. I think it's a very respectable skill. It was insightful because I'd never seen an animal get hunted. Okay, people eat beef from farms all the time, but you don't really see behind the scenes with that. I think it gave me an appreciation for hunters that I didn't really have as strongly before.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that was a cool experience, and I found to relate it back, bring it all full circle again. That was a new experience that I found an appreciation for.
That's cool. That's awesome. I have never been hunting myself, but I do plan on doing it. Yeah. I think if when done for the right reasons, of course, not for sport, but for like actual for meat food and sustenance. Yeah, I think it's a very good thing. I think it's favorable to farming, like mass farming, I should say. You can do sustainable farming, but mass farming is something I think that's environmentally damaging. Hunting's much better in that sense. Yeah, because you'd be getting less meat, right? Overall, if you restrict to the hunting season. Rather than buying in a grocery store year round, right? Fair enough. That's true though. I think there's 2 hunting seasons a year, I believe.
Different species have different seasons. But
yeah, exactly. So you
can sort of change. Regulated. It's alternated. Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's the production and consumption is a lot more extravagant, or like what's a good word? Like it's a little bit out of control with farming because you're producing way more than you are consuming, and then you have all this waste which just gets thrown out, and then it's just like you just lost all that energy and that potential
for sure
for feeding people, and could have done that in a much more sustainable and efficient way.
For sure.
But I guess not cost efficient, which is the reason why it happens. But yeah, that's a bit of a tangent. But just something that's new, sort of I've been thinking about over the past couple days.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. So then, yes, you majored in philosophy. Tell me a couple of your favorite philosophical things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Recent, and this is like pretty, I would say, of the last 5 years, this has been relevant. It's been relevant for longer, but especially now. Discussions on AI. And the potentials for artificial intelligence and what that would mean as far as personhood or having a consciousness. Right. The idea that could a machine, if it gained enough intelligence, enough cognition occurring within itself, so to speak,
like it teaches itself,
or is able to learn those kinds of things, what would make it human? Is there a breaking point? Could it ever be human? Right. Or not human, but a person, or considered to be as sentient as a person, as a human? Yeah, that's been on my mind, and I think Elon Musk has talked about this a lot recently, the potential dangers of AI.
For sure.
The sense that if this is going to be developed, and maybe it's just like there's no if, but rather when.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's an inevitability.
Okay.
Potentially. I mean, we seem to be working towards it, right? So if we get to this point where there is a super intelligence, what would that mean for humans?
That's true, because I mean, can't have like iRobot happening, you know?
No.
Like,
I mean, a takeover of the machines. Maybe it won't be as destructive of a takeover. Maybe it won't need to be.
But I mean, do we really want to lose that battle?
I don't think so. No.
No.
If it was that, if it did come to that, then I don't think humans would stand a chance.
No, because they can, like, robots are tough. Like,
well, not robots, but just
or AI.
As strong of an intelligence. If it's connected to us in some facet, like the notion of a singularity occurring in the future,
right?
Where an AI would like merge with a human consciousness.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or with collective consciousness, like perhaps that would be very positive or very negative. It's very difficult to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those things you can never really can't really predict.
Yeah,
you can
right.
You can give
it's
like,
going to be a massive change, but we don't know how.
You can give millions of different outcomes, but the only way to actually know is like when it happens. That's the Which
essentially.
That just drives. That's like you know, talking about like what else is out in the galaxy. Mm-hmm. It's like
and while we can't say for certain, like, okay, what is it going to be like when it happens, but we can talk about if it does happen or when it does happen.
Like,
what will that mean? Like,
what can we do to?
Well, should we treat AIs as persons? Like, should they have rights under our laws? Right? Should they be considered persons if that does happen? Which I think is just fascinating and might seem outlandish and like something that will never happen in our lifetimes, if ever. But I think it's probably sooner to occurring than not.
Okay, that's cool. I kind of like, you know, I'm always very interested to, like, with technology. Like, it's always like, what's gonna be next? Because I mean,
it's increasing and increasing.
And the speed it is increasing is at such an accelerating.
It's exponential,
rate. Yeah,
right?
like it's just something that's very.
And that's essentially the argument for an artificial intelligence occurring, is that we have these processors that keep getting more and more powerful. They can compute and do calculations just like our brains do at a much faster and faster rate. Eventually, they surpass us in their computing powers. Maybe it's in our interest to merge with that for our own development.
Right, to become some sort of like...
Right, maybe that's, theoretically, like the next step of human evolution.
Maybe like, merging Master Chief with Cortana,
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It could be just like that, and then it'd be like...
Could be like science fiction. It could be completely unlike anything that we know. Could be very positive.
Yeah, and it could be, like, obviously it could... next thing you know, we're...
Could be horrific.
Yeah, like...
Could be our
living in dystopian
elimination.
World, right? Like... You just never know.
Or the sense that, and this is another thing that's really interesting, the idea that by using the internet and putting pieces of ourselves into that and computing our thoughts and ideas into the system, that all of us collectively are creating this intelligence that is a collective AI. And this is actually, it sounds crazy, but it's almost like we are like neurons firing in this giant brain.
Okay, yeah. I get what you're saying.
And with that, we are creating something that is like that intelligence, the super intelligence, and will already be connected to us and is continuing to do so at a faster and faster rate.
Yeah.
That's maybe where it gets into those, so like, I don't know, Brave New World where we're being controlled and we don't even know it. This is like a dystopian,
I would love to sit
novel.
down and talk to you about this for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I easily could. This is why I went into philosophy. Is like and maybe this is the more extreme and kind of like fascinating sides, and there's more mundane sides to philosophy sometimes, but both I think have their place, and I just get really excited about the fun science fiction stuff that relates to
no doubt
philosophy, like The Matrix and things like that.
Sci-fi is like it's probably one of my like preferred genres over fantasy,
right?
But like because I've always loved the technology, the space,
right.
like there's just everything is just like so much to me. It's just like so cool, like
and it's always like I think what draws us to it is the idea like what will the future be like in 50 or 100 or 1,000 years from now. How will things change? Will they be like our predictions at all? Probably not, but
we just gotta figure out how to like cryogenically freeze us like Fry from Futurama, and then just jet ahead,
without bursting all the cells in our bodies from the freezing.
With that somehow.
So somehow avoiding that.
Somehow avoiding hypothermia and all that stuff, and frostbite and all that cool jazz. But that's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you. We're definitely gonna talk about this later.
I'll hold you to it.
Mm-hmm. Good. I want you to. One last quick little thing. We Christian, he was on the original podcast we used to do.
Yes, I was.
That was exciting.
Back when I lived here in Nanaimo, and then I went away. But now I'm back.
Stopped, but I'm glad he's back because did you have a favorite episode? Because we originally did this one called The Group of Champions.
Yes. I was gonna say favorite episode. It's probably episode number 1. To be honest with you, it was classic. It was raw. But it was good.
It was great because we were all so like nervous.
And it's like and it's just funny to listen to it and sort of appreciate.
It is it's like being behind the mics again. It's just like I can already see the differences between me like 2 years ago to me now. Even though like I had a long.
It's only been 2 years.
Yeah, but like I had a long break between when we stopped and then coming back to it. So I mean, it was even coming back. I felt a little more confident because I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. I know how to talk clear, blah blah blah. But like, it was definitely eye-opening, and it was like it was a great experience. My favorite one was I still have not listened to it to this day, but we should. Is the drunk one we did?
Oh, I was gonna say that too. I was like, well, I had 2 in my mind. It was either the first one or the drunk one, but then I thought, not the drunk one. No, it was fun. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of fun. But it doesn't resemble the podcast as it really was.
As a whole, like. Us getting around the table for the first time, I definitely can agree with you. That the first episode was probably like it was really something special.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was just like I never knew anyone who did it. Mm-hmm. Like I knew of people who did it because of like podcasts out in the world and stuff. But like even to this day, I don't really know of anyone in town that does a podcast.
No,
I haven't heard of anybody, or like if they are,
you've got a whole special thing going on right here. Nobody's got a hold of this yet.
At least in this town.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to collab with people and stuff if they were doing content, but I don't know what's out there. And I've checked Reddit, checked other things, and I don't find much.
It's a free market.
Yeah, literally. So I mean, I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was. I'm so glad I finally got to get you on. And you'll be back.
Definitely.
Especially when we get the other shows going.
Count on.
So like, if the people want to find you, where can they find you? Like on the gram or something?
Instagram. Chris_BRZ.
Nice.
And
I think that's
it's my Instagram.
That's his Instagram. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Or you can follow me at Just Koryzma. You can check out the Facebook page. That's kind of the only social medias. Or you can follow me on Twitter. But it's not just
Snapchat.
I should.
Get your Snapchat going.
I'll change my name to Just Koryzma.
Boom. Do it.
There. You can follow me.
Because it's only you.
Yeah.
Just Koryzma.
Just Koryzma. So.
There's no other Koryzma. Except for your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm the best one. No,
Shots fired.
Don't forget to, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button. Check out the other videos. Like, comment, share. Help the word get out. I want this channel to grow and get on to bigger and better things. And thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.